My name's Thierry Chau. I am with CommScope. I came from the Ruckus acquisition 3 years ago, and I am the Senior Director of Large Public Venues for CommScope.
Sounds awesome. Great. Well, welcome both of you guys. Obviously, a lot to talk about in that space. So I guess maybe let's just start off with maybe Terry. What are you seeing in that space from a CommScope perspective?
Yeah, the good news is we're seeing a significant rise in business and opportunities. Obviously, with COVID, we had a little bit of a hiccup there in terms of people going to venues and it shutting down. But now with the return of fans, we're seeing a tremendous shift in mobile broadband access because of things that they were already working on prior to the pandemic. Things like mobile ticketing and cashless payments and so forth. And one of the things we are seeing is post COVID or with the return of fans, those things are no longer just a good to have. They're really necessary for the reopening of those venues. And fortunately for CommScope and for Ruckus, that infrastructure, that mobile broadband connectivity is what we provide. So we've been very busy. In fact, we should have some very good wins to announce here publicly very soon.
That's fantastic. Now, Terry, how long have you been in the high density public venue space?
So going on the 6th year. Prior to that, I was running territories with Ruckus. So as you know, that's where I had a really good run there with SmartWAVE, and it looks like that continues to be on. But it was a situation where the selling motion and the technical decisions were really complicated and complex in these venues. I say that the Wi-Fi and wireless inside a stadium with 100,000 people is the extreme sport of Wi-Fi, right? It wasn't designed for that. So you had to do a lot of really unique things, both deployment wise as well as software feature wise. So they wanted me to come over and help run that for Ruckus. And then when we got acquired by CommScope, who has the cellular side of the business, as well as copper and fiber infrastructure, it just made sense that if we're calling on these type of venues, that we bring that into a full product kit offering to them. And we've had a lot of success. I mean, CommScope's had that even before the acquisition of Ruckus. In fact, if you look at the 30 NFL stadiums, it's 32 teams, but they share venues. If you look at that, CommScope's DAS is in 21 of them. And if you include the infrastructure, it's 26, soon to be 27 of 32 of the 32 teams.
That's impressive. So when you do those networks for those type of areas, you just don't sling a bunch of APs and use auto channel and auto power. What's up?
No, yeah. So AP, a lot of the AI and smart stuff, people just think, hey, let's plug this stuff in and, it works at home, so it should work here. But, this is something that SmartWAVE is really good at, because it's both an art and a science in terms of how you make high density operate and work, whether that be in a municipal type of network, whether that be in a convention center and an auditorium, or that be in a major stadium. If you design it incorrectly, it's obviously not going to work. You're going to get signal, you'll have 5 bars or whatever it is, but that's not exactly the way the protocol works, and contention's a major issue. So design and the tools that we generally see put together in your typical, what I call the carpeted enterprise, isn't what is used when you do municipal type high density networks, or you do the stadium high density type stuff. Right. You really need a different tool set.
Well, I kind of explain it to some of our clients when, San Jose Convention Center, right? We host. Yeah. You talk about the kind of the Super Bowl of wireless or whatever. Twitch, right? Yeah. Twitch is if you guys don't know what that is, that's like a gaming kind of conference, right? So if you can imagine, 10,000 people in a confined area that's open, nothing to block RF properties, and you got to support those guys streaming video, that will hammer a Wi-Fi network, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to get involved in those types of projects. So you do have to cheat the RF properties somewhat. You have to have antenna segmentation. You have to, you can't rely on auto power or auto channel. You have to turn off certain radios like 2.4 in, because there's only 3 non-overlapping channels. But that it can be pretty challenging. As I've explained it to a couple of different people that go, well, look, it's just Wi-Fi. I mean, I got Wi-Fi in my house, right? And it works fine. I can support my devices. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. I said, now invite 10,000 of your closest friends, put you all in the same room and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's funny how actually the expectations have shifted too, right? Like, I mean, you go to an event, like, you expect it to work. You expect to be able to do all these things and it just worked flawlessly.
And there's there's so many conventions, like when you go to these trade shows, and it's a horrible experience.
And a lot of their business, I mean, when you start breaking it down, it's based on bookings of events. That's what drives convention centers, and that's what drives whether it's an auditorium, arena, or whatever. And people just expect it as a utility, obviously, because they don't think about going to a venue and not having bathrooms, or they don't think about going to a venue and not having mobile broadband. And with the post-COVID situation, I think what we have seen is the hub for this digital transformation, what I call the more of less. They want it frictionless, they want it cashless, they want it touchless, and they want it ticketless. And those things now are kind of expected to be, there's no paper tickets anymore, no paper admission. Fortunately for the business that SmartWAVE's in, business that CommScope and Ruckus is in, we are kind of helping that dramatic digital shift that's happening in these high density areas.
What are some of the cooler applications that you're seeing now in the stadiums? I would think, especially like in NFL stadiums, everything from ordering, but there's a lot of data analytics that are involved in all that. I'd love to hear some of the coolest things you've been working with lately.
Well, I mean, the data analytics where you can actually kind of follow the VIP journey, or what they are trying to do is, if somebody's coming to a venue and they've come 3 times out of my 12 games that I have or what have you, can I help identify who that is? Because if they buy 4, that's basically a package. I could sell that to them on a season ticket package, or I can bundle that together. And if they are coming a couple times, can I take that data analytics and maybe give them a coupon for the fan store or the food and beverage? So we get a lot of those analytics things, both on the user side as well as on the network side. So one of the things that we've rolled out in Ruckus over the last couple of years is the Ruckus analytics. So getting the data coming that's reporting both from what it's seeing out in the RF, as well as what it's seeing in terms of the network itself, and then applying machine learning algorithms and artificial intelligence so that it could detect anomalies and basically fix itself and optimize itself, which is that's an IT person's kind of dream, is set it and forget it. And I think we've done a fairly good job at Ruckus to try to do that, but the analytics kind of takes it to a different level when you can collect it all and sort through with machine learning and artificial intelligence.